Hi, welcome back to Revelana. Today we're going to talk about how to prepare and review and make modifications to forms. Lucky for you with Revelana, we know your business, we know the aesthetics business, med spas, medical practices. We've got all the forms, we've got the whole system set up, so you're just pretty much going to have to make minor modifications. But let's talk about the basics. So when you go to Revelana and you hit sites, it usually lands on funnels. You just want to go over here and hit forms and then go to the builder. The builder or the editor. So when you go into the builder, it's going to bring you to these forms. We've got 6 right now. We're in our Revelana template account, so there's sort of dummy forms that haven't been used yet. And what you're going to do is you notice, go into edit, you go into a new patient form, and let's say you're looking at this new patient form and you're like, you know what? I don't really care about asking about their gender. So I'm going to take that out. So all you do is, and by the way, you see this word gender here. It's going to make more sense, but that's called placeholder text. Um, but, and what it has here is a drop down. So I'm going to show you something, but if you want to delete it, you want to hit the X, right? And then just delete it. And normally you can just say male, female. Now, we don't live in that world anymore. And that's what this looks like it is it's a drop down that's just male, female. Well, in this world, again, that's not going to work. So it's better to have this as open text anyway. So if you put gender, you want to set it up so someone could just write in their gender and not necessarily just choose male, female. But in this case, we may even want to remove this button because I don't know in the med spa world how much that matters. So we're just going to remove it. Like, why even bring something up if it's just going to cause issues, right? So I also want to show you too that let's say you want their website. I don't know why you'd want their website, but you look at all of these things, or maybe you want to put an image in. Maybe you want a picture of them. So you might even want to bring that to the top of the form. So you put the image up here, or maybe actually this image may end up being your logo. Let me see how I can put it in toward the top here. There, that's when you see it. So this is for them choosing a file. So if they want to upload a file into there and you want a picture of them or their condition or whatever it is, did you take a picture of whatever's bothering you? Have it there because it turns into sort of like the before picture. But they're not going to know what that is. So you're going to want to put it in there so it has a little bit of a descriptive as well, and not just shows up like that. So in that case, you're going to want to go to the choices here. Here's one that says text. So then you just bring this up. You're going to see the green line show up when you can drop it. That word text is so big. So we're going to click inside this field. We're going to come over here and make it smaller because it's a little too crazy, right? And we also want to make sure it matches. I don't even know what size or weight the others are, but we want to make sure it matches. And then the font color matches. If it's all Roboto, we want to have it all Roboto. I didn't look and see what this is, so it doesn't matter right now. But I do want to tell you that you can have this say whatever you want. So you can say, please upload a picture of your before picture of your face, or whatever, here. So that shows up in this text when you press save. So you go like that, you click here, and then you press save here, right? I'm not going to press save because I don't want to save it. I don't want to ruin the form. So when you press save, it's going to save that there. Please upload a picture of your face here. They're going to upload their face or whatever it is, and then they can fill everything out. That's just showing you how you can make modifications, but I'm just going to go ahead and delete this and delete that. Oop, I clicked on that wrong. Okay, and delete that. So it's not there anymore. But let's say you wanted to ask a question that isn't here. Let's say you wanted to ask right after the email, right here. You want to ask a very personal question that is not in this list of standard questions. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to options, and we're going to scroll in there and see that it said there's all kinds of different things that you can say. But what we want is a custom field. So if you don't see it there and you're like, hey, these things don't make sense, then scroll up and you'll see, oh, there's custom fields. Or if you ever get lost, the big thing is to click on the form here, anywhere here outside of those fields. Just click on the form, scroll up, you'll see custom fields. And then what you'll have to do is look at what's there already. Don't keep creating custom fields that are there, right? So let's say you want to ask them, is this your first time having this particular procedure, right? So, and you want yes or no. I don't see a question like that, so I'm going to scroll down, add a custom field, and in this case, you can say text. I want it to have, just open text that they can write an answer to, or I just want a yes or no. So let's say it's a checkbox, right? So I can say, have you ever had this procedure before? And I don't know if you remember, but I said, hey, you look at that word that said gender twice. There was that word gender underneath. That was placeholder text inside the field. So what you want to do in this case is you can say something in here to give them some direction on what they're supposed to do next. But that just clutters it up. I mean, it's pretty easy to know that that it's either yes, right? Or add option, no, right? So then they know when you set this up and then you press save. Hold on, my little play thing's in the way. When you press save, it creates this. Have you ever had this procedure before? I want it right here. And then look, I mean, it's pretty obvious. You either press yes or you press no, right? This is in the builder mode, so it's not going to let you do it until we put it in preview mode and save it. But this is something that it could also be, have you ever been treated by us before? That kind of thing. So whatever you want. But that is an example of a custom field. I'm going to go ahead. When you want to save it, you just click on the form here, and then you press this save form button, right? So hopefully that gives you an idea. That's how you add and delete, but please do not change the name of, like if you have emergency contact name in other forms, and then you go in here and you're like, I don't want to create a new one. I'm just going to say, have you ever been treated before, blah, blah, blah. And you change it here. And this is no longer emergency contact name. And then this changes. You're going to really break things. Like, be terrified of doing that because you don't want to break anything. It's better to delete the field and recreate a field if it doesn't exist than to change it that way into something radically different. Because also, whatever you write here, if this field is already being used in another form, it's going to change what it says, and it's going to be weird. So please be terrified of making changes that way, and don't do it. And let's keep it clean and always use either what's here already or create a new one if it's not there in custom fields, but always look in standard fields first. Then you go to custom fields second. If they're not in there, then you can create a new one, right? So that gives you an idea. The other big thing too is you definitely need to change the color of your submit button to your brand colors. So you just click on the submit button, and then when you go over here, the background of that button is the hex color needs to go in here. When you change this, it's going to change the color. So let's say you want to change it to 3A, 3A, 3C. So that's a dark, oh no, that's dark gray. Okay, so it's already 3A, 3C. So let's change it to, we're going to change it to O2, B6, B8. That is Louology's teal color. So look what happens. It changes And then this shows up on the website. So when you go to the Revelana website, when you go to a website and you see a form, instead of a gray button, that's going to turn teal. So just make sure if this is your brand color here, that you want to have this matching. Or in this case, this gray goes great with this, so it's fine. But when you're doing that, I just wanted to show you that's what you're changing. You're changing how this shows up in the website as well. So you want it matching your font. You want to make sure the font is the right font, and you want to make sure that the colors are the right colors as well. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense. And then once you get through all this, you want to make sure you click on the form here on the side and you press save. Make sure you're saving your work, okay? And then we're going to bring you over to all the forms. And I'm going to show you the trickiest one. So right now we're going to go back to the sites and the forms. We're going to the form builder. I don't want to save this stuff, so it's warning me, are you sure you want to leave, discard? Yes, I do, because I don't want to make changes to that form. All of these, you just want to go through the same way. Just make sure the forms look good, that they're your brand colors. The referral form too. This is such a cute form. And then special order, but the one that is the one that's most important is your calendar. So you want to make sure that your calendar is set up right and all the forms that integrate are set up right. So and your contact form, those things, the ones that are going to show up on your website, just make sure they look great. That Another thing is you want required fields. You want to require the email. You want to require the cell phone. So we can do that. We can require that. And then require their full name, right? So you can decide whether you want to unrequire the cell phone, because we've unrequired it in the template. If you want to require it, that's what you do. And then you click over here. One of the most important things too, when you go into options, is that we make this a sticky contact. So those are on. Sticky contact is on in the fields, in all the forms. This is incredibly important. So if someone's already filled out a form somewhere, it's going to automatically, when they get to the live form, it's going to automatically fill their information in. Have you ever had that? Like your information just pops in. You don't even have to type it. It's great. So that's what a sticky contact form is. Just make sure under that setting, under options, you scroll all the way down. That sticky contact is on, and you're golden. You're ready to rock and roll. Thanks so much. I hope you appreciate the video.